The Bronx is more than a borough. It's a teacher. Through the daily hustle and grind, we're taught how to be strong, how to persevere, and how to grit our teeth just to make it through the day. Our previous discussions with Durieux emulated these values, and we are curious to know more about his career, what's next for him in 2021, and what his thoughts are on a rising issue in the South Bronx, gentrification.
Letting time decay along with all these memories. I wish I knew what I could have done to be dismissed and forgotten, as if a love never happened. Was it something I said to make you question what I feel for you? You have my heart in your hands, and you know you make me a better man. I wanna know what it is you really want from me. 'Cause baby, I can only give you what you need. I wish I knew what I could have done to be dismissed and forgotten, as if a love never happened. I wish I knew what I could have done to be dismissed and forgotten, as if a love never happened.
So we're in Mott Haven. And it has gone through many cycles of change over the years.
Amounts of changes over the years, and
why come down here? What's so special about this particular part of the Bronx?
listen, man, this has become a cultural hub for like the arts recently. You have like Bronx Native here. You have you have Mott Haven Bar and Grill, which has a stage. They also host some bands there occasionally. My boy O'Dane hosts the Ology there when they were open. And it was the Ology is basically an event where Christian artists come through and they have a show there.
Really?
Yeah, it's dope. It's a really good vibe. And he would occasionally like book me there when he had time for me. A friend of mine named Chelsea, who's from Cincinnati, Ohio. I am Chelsea. I am. She started a open mic called Songwriter Sunday that used to be in Harlem, and then when it moved to the Bronx, and when it moved to the Bronx,
location.
when it moved to the Bronx, I jumped on board and started helping her with that. And there's great food down here. You have Bronx Brewery. There's
Charlie's over here.
Charlie's was another spot that like used to host bands once in a while.
How's the I-9 Bistro? I know you talked about that a lot.
I-9 Bistro is the food there is great. The vibe is cool. Issue there for us was always like sound, just trying to get it to sound good in there sometimes. But we did our best, and we tried everything to make it sound good.
Then there's how's Mesoneta? That French Mexican.
It's crazy. This is brand new.
Is it really?
Yeah. This used to be a dope Mexican spot.
Now it's French Mex.
Now it's French Mex. But that's the change, man. That's the splash of gentrification that we're experiencing down here.
Do you think that it's the first of many to come?
I mean, it's not the first. That's the thing. It's been constantly happening over the years, and it's kind of sad to see, but it's we see the fight every day down here. Like people from the Bronx buying up spots, getting their business started. and just keeping the Bronx. That's like the most important thing.
That's right. 'Cause, I think you gotta also. It's important for the culture to kind of preserve itself in these cultural hotspots that have opportunity.
Yep.
And that's
You have small eateries, little cafes.
Yep.
Like we said before, we have to fight for our position here.
Exactly.
We have to dig in and hold it tight.
Exactly.
This is our place.
Exactly. So there's so the reason why Mott Haven Bar and Grill is like special to my heart, because when I was in the band One for Tomorrow, this was one of the first spots that we had our residency. It was like they used to host a comedy night here when it was called Bruckner Bar and Grill. We used to be the house band for the comedy nights there. And after that, there was a point in time when I was playing guitar for Candace.
Yes.
For Candace Camacho. And my homegirl Sunny and man, I can't remember the other girl's name, but Sunny, who's part of Uptown Vinyl Supreme. Her and her best friend used to do this thing called Inspiration in the Cut. So what they would do is that they'll get local artists, like photographers of different medias, and they'll take the space and transform the space into a gallery. This was one of the first spots where I met them. And then that led to, us having a good relationship and like doing other shows with them. I brought the band. It was good vibes. Good vibes.
I love talking about galleries. I love Wallworks. It's an excellent, gallery for like just the Bronx culture and the art scene. And then Bronx Brand is down here too, right?
Bronx Brand is down here too. Yep.
They get the fashion.
Another spot. Yeah, another spot that's down here too is the compound. I can't remember. Yeah, the compound is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the guy's name, but I know he was one of the pioneers for. You remember the N1 mixtapes?
Yes.
He was the one that kind of started it all. And now he has a gallery right around the corner, which is really dope.
Check that out. When we did our SWB radio interview, it's right there.
Oh,
it's in that building. Right there. And you would never realize, but that's a full blown.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a whole bunch of down here is a whole bunch of music studios.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
and these
it's
are all
hidden
Bronx,
treasures.
These are all hidden treasures. All Bronx-owned, Bronx businesses that are within this. Because right now it's the real estate that seems to be the changing.
Yeah,
up front and center. And it's kind of sad. It looks nice, beautiful loft, but like if no one could afford to live in it, it's $3,000, $4,000 a month.
Yeah,
what's the point? Like, who's going to live here? And at some point, these people are going to be pushed out.
Exactly.
And the thing is whether
that's
those
when the culture dies. And that's the thing that us as Bronxites are trying to fight. And that's why I go back to what I said earlier. Like everywhere I go, you need to know I'm from the BX. You don't have to remember my name. You don't have to remember anything. If you remember my performance, you remember the fact I'm from the Bronx. That's what takes it home for me. And
maybe that's it. If people know that you're from here, that culture hopefully can sustain itself even amongst all the changes.
Exactly. I grew up right across the street from Cardi B. A Boogie is from my hood. I grew up in Highbridge. Yeah, exactly. So the fact that like I come from literally like Cardi grew up across the street. The fact that I come from across the street from one of the biggest icons of hip hop right now, two of them actually. Yeah. Shows you how much culture there is in this borough.
Absolutely. That's a sense of pride we can't let go.
Yeah, exactly.
And they still rep the Bronx.
Yep.
Regardless, no matter if it's world tours, different cities, they're still there.
Exactly.
And I think that's important. I think to bring it back, bring it home.
Yeah, this is still home.
Yeah, the Mott Haven, like this is even back from the days of Bronx Underground and FLC. There's another big like hub here too, Sobro Studios. I mean, I never went to a show there because the times that I wanted to, it was too late, and my mom was just like, "You are not going down to Mott Haven at that hour. It ain't happening. I ain't coming to get you." Because this area used to be rough, man. It used to be rough. I mean, if we were on this corner like 20 years ago, it would have been a problem. It would have been a problem.
Say goodbye to these cameras.
Exactly. So, you got to remember, like, there's hope everywhere. There's little beams of lights everywhere. There's art everywhere. Like this borough that we live in is rich of culture. Culture everywhere. And we have to preserve that as much as we can. Yeah, I remember the first time I played at FLC, I was just thinking about like, man, 3 years ago, I was here like watching Drew Torres, watching the silver medal with Brian Keith, watching, My Arcadia.
My Arcadia.
My Arcadia, A Moment's Worth. Who else was it? Oh man, there was another band. That was it was with Jay Fury. Can't remember the name of it, but it was his band as well that played. It was a dope night, and I remember when the silver medal came on stage, and I got to see them play. I was just like, "Yo, I want to do this." That they were the band that kind of like did it for me.
Wow.
And even seeing Drew, when he played with, that was the first time I saw him and Mocha play together, and I was just like, "This is insane." All I saw was this. All I saw was this on the guitar, and I was like blown away, and I was just like, man, I want to play like that. I want to be on stage.
When I first met you was when you were the Bryan Durieux project.
Yeah.
And I loved all those songs, all those memorable songs that
Yeah.
just like playing at Arlen's Grocery, playing all those places in the city, performing that, and like, for me, I still have the shirt from the album.
That's vintage now.
Yeah, it's just, I mean,
it's gonna be worth a lot of money.
But what happened? Like, how did that breakup happen?
It's it's multiple things. I mean, we were going through a period where like we were working with somebody at some point, like that was trying to be our manager, and they kind of recommended like maybe shortening the name. I was like, all right, cool, I understand that. And honestly, the name of the group was the name it was because we didn't exactly, like, I asked the guys like, oh, what do you want to be called? They're just like, whatever, it's your project. I was like, all right, the Bryan Durieux project, the BDP, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it came to. And then it started, like, we started going through this rebranding phase, and some of us weren't seeing eye to eye. And my cousin who played bass for me, he lived in Japan for a few years before he came back. I hadn't seen him in over a decade at this point.
Got it, yeah.
When he came back, and he knew that I was like making music, and he was just like, yo, when I get back to the States, we got to do something together. And that's how the Bryan Durieux project started. It was just the two of us. Then he brought some other guys from another project in with him. Sean Washington was also in the project.
Talented guitarist.
Yeah, from the Astral Cadence. Yeah, he was in the project for a little while too. Simone from that house party though, she played keys for me for a little bit, but it was it just got to the point where we just weren't seeing eye to eye. Marcus went back to Japan. Jordan was also going through, like, he was my drummer at the time. He was going through a lot of stuff with his family and personal stuff. So it was a period where I was playing solo for like a year, and I went by strictly Durieux. I still do, and it was a rebuilding phase. It was just trying to figure out what the next step would be. So
gotcha.
Yeah, is the Bryan Durieux project, was that like, no pun intended, was that like a project that to prepare you for the artist you are today? Like,
I guess so. I mean, I learned a
transition?
lot from that project. I learned a lot, like, creatively. I learned a lot, how to promote a record.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was fun. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun, but that sound was me back then. It's not much different than what I do now, but there is a difference. And I miss those times. I miss playing those songs. I miss like playing with those guys. But it was just a point in time in life that happened. Then you live and you learn. Yeah. It's part of the growing process. But I do appreciate every single person who was part of that project, who helped me grow as a musician, and it's not forgotten at all.
Definitely.
Nice.
So on that point, I mean, you're connecting with the crowd. They're singing your lyrics back to you. What was it like for you to play at the Apollo?
Oh, that was hella weird.
Really?
That was so weird. I did the Apollo, and I almost did it. And the reason why was because I was in a place at the point, as most humans and artists are. We're always in a place where we just don't want to do anything. And I went to the audition, and like the audition, I felt like I didn't make it through, and I was just like, whatever, I don't want to do this. And then they called me. They were just like, "Hey, we want you to come in." I was just like, "Oh, whatever. I don't want to do this." That kind of attitude. And then,
Wow.
at that point, I think Elisa and I were back together, and she was just like, "Yeah, you should just go do it. Just do it. You're gonna not do it and then regret that you did it."
Yeah.
So I was just like, "All right, fine, I'll go do it." And then I did it, and it was extremely nerve-wracking, man. I've never played on a stage like that ever. It was the idea that, you know, some of the artists that I look up to have played on that stage. The idea that, you know, you have 1,100 people looking at you, and they're from across the globe. Like, they're from the community. They're also from like other countries that were here on a tour and stuff like that, coming to see the amateur night at the Apollo. It was weird, but I tried to do my best thing, and it ended up, you know, working in my favor. I won second place.
Hey,
That moment honestly was the first time that I felt accomplished as a musician for some reason, because I never won anything before musically, like for my music. And I've never like won a competition. I've never won any of that kind of stuff. So to know that in the eyes of the audience, like I was up there, it was a great feeling. I walked out of there with a great experience and a new understanding of where I was as a musician, which was nice, because, you know, as a musician, you're constantly, as a creative in general, constantly like looking down on yourself. You're just like, man, I could have done that better. I could have done this. I could have done that. And in that moment, I didn't really feel any of that. Like, I did the best that I could, and people enjoyed it, and that felt great. So
that's a tough, you know, and I know that's something that we can all relate to. When you're doing a project, when you're doing something, you always want to critique yourself.
Yeah,
You
but
want to go back and like
that's where growth comes from, though.
exactly.
It's constantly being your worst critic. Even when you have a great time, you're still looking at like, okay, how can we improve?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how can we make this better? And like, I mean, that was the first time where I was just like, man, I did pretty good.
But you also were performing for So Far Sounds multiple times. Tell us more about that and that experience.
So Far was, I mean, still is, because they're still doing shows, but they were always great to me. You know, they gave me the opportunity to you know, keep performing, even when I didn't have like a big show booked up, or if I didn't have my next band gig. And it was great to. The best practice for big stages is little small rooms, honestly, because those are the most nerve-wracking rooms. When you can see somebody in front, when you can see the whole room and their faces, that is scary.
Can't hide.
You can't hide. You can't hide. They're looking right at you, and it's also refreshing to be in a room where the sole purpose is music. You know, sometimes we play at a venue. Some people go to the venue to just like, you know, chit chat after work. It's an after hours spot.
Go to the bar,
drink, and just chill.
Have your back towards the stage.
Yeah, but the magic of So Far was that they were trying to eliminate that. You know, that like they do these shows in small rooms with small crowds, so that way you can connect with these people. Yeah. And, you know, I've done, I mean, I've probably done well over 50 shows with them.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've done. At one point, I was like the backup guy for them. So like, if somebody were to drop, if somebody were to drop out, if somebody dropped out, I would get a text like, "Hey, are you free?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
In all New York or other cities?
Well, mostly in New York, mostly. That's where I did most of my shows. But I did do 2 shows in Chicago. And I almost did one in LA, but, you know, by the time I was on the flight when they were booking it, and by the time I landed, they already filled the spot. So
you're kidding me.
Oh, my
Wait,
goodness.
so what did you do? You kept going.
I went to the show.
Yeah,
I chilled. I met them, and it was a dope show. I met some cool people there. But I mean, when I was in LA, I had other shows booked. I was out there I was playing guitar for Zai, who's another like hip hop artist from Harlem. We were on the Dean's List tour together. So he was out there with his manager. They were doing stuff with him and like his connections out there. I was playing guitar with him, and then I knew Kapali lived in California, Kapali Long.
Yeah.
So I hit him up to see what he was doing, and who knew that I was staying like 20 minutes away from his house? So we linked up. I did like one show with him. I did a few other shows with the other guys, and then I went to the So Far show. So it was a productive week.
It worked out.
Yeah, it worked
100%.
out. It worked out. I was busy that
Yeah,
week, but it was great. It was a good experience. But So Far is great.
Wow. Did you like performing? Well, not like, but did you see the differences between performing like in LA and as opposed to the Bronx, New York?
The West Coast.
The West
East
Coast. Yeah.
I feel like I didn't get the real experience of LA because I didn't have a show booked for me.
Gotcha.
There, I was just there, like, seeing what was available. I was really out there playing guitar for Zaya, and then I just happened to be there with my guitar, and I was playing shows. Wow. But I did play in Oakland. I had a show booked out in Oakland, and that was dope. Like Oakland is a really great city, and they love the arts there. They love music there. It's really dope. So there is different. Like when you leave the city, there are differences. Like you do feel less of the I would say maybe the urgency to get out of the room, because sometimes I feel like you feel that sometimes here. Like people are just like, okay,
we're done. Let's go.
We're done. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't feel that so much out there in the different cities, especially if you're from out of town. Like they're like, oh no, he came all the way here. Let's check him out. So it was cool. It was a really good experience. We've had a lot of, like, even back then, we had a lot of artists that that made it.
Yeah.
Candice Lee Camacho, who goes by Duendita now.
Yeah.
My name is Duendita.
Yeah. Don't do that. But she's
Incredible artist.
she's an incredible artist. Vagabond was another one that we had.
Yeah, Varsity too, right? Did you have Varsity?
No, we didn't. We did.
Yeah.
We did work with him at
Yeah.
We did see him at
I think that was a
band at the Warped Tour.
Warped Tour. We
yeah,
worked with him at Warped Tour.
Yeah.
But I think Vagabond was an amazing show, and like we said earlier, they came for the first show ever.
Yep.
With T-Fact, first show ever with T-Fact, brought the most people. Now, fast forward to current day, they're doing international tours.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
insane.
So what's next for Durieux? What do you have coming up?
I'm gonna be quite honest. Don't know. I'm working on an album right now. If it's gonna be an album, I don't know. Don't know. But there is music being made, or at least there was music that was made. As far as like creating new stuff since last year, not really much. COVID really hit me hard. I had COVID at the beginning of quarantine.
Oh wow!
I was clinically diagnosed with COVID, so I was in bed for 10 days. Couldn't really do much. Didn't have much strength to do anything. And then being
Sorry to hear that.
it happened. But being someone who thrived off of being in a space with people and playing music and feeling that energy from the crowd selfishly, I will always say that it's selfish for me to do that, because that's what it was,
Yeah.
To have that all taken away and not being able to do that. And we were supposed to release this album last year. We had a tour lined up. We had first ever festival out of state that I had booked. I had that booked for the summer. And it all came crashing down, and I took it really hard. I kind of lost myself a little bit. Didn't know who I was or who I wanted to be, and it wasn't until recently where I started putting in the footwork into figuring out what the next steps are. So, I mean, I've finished like principal tracking for it. I've finished the vocals. I did guitar for it, so it's being mixed, but it's all on hold until proper plan is put together.
So we'll just we'll wait and see what's next.
That's it. It's coming though. We're releasing something this year. It's gonna happen. It's coming soon.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
So am I. Now, I wouldn't, if I lived anywhere else, I don't think I would have the drive. I don't think I would have the hustle that I do. I don't think I would have the swag, the way I carry myself, the way that I am on stage. That's all BX, baby. All of it. All of it.
There it is.
That's it.
That's it. Closes
That's
out
it.
there.
Support your bodegas. You know what I'm saying?
bacon, egg, and cheese, buy all the Aries, you know what I'm saying? Don't listen to me, I'm terrible.
Get your Timbs too.
Get your Timbs. Just buy them. You ain't gotta wear them, just buy them. Just buy them. Have them for a rainy day. When it's Tim Day, you wear them, that's it.
You just know.
You just know. You'll feel it in your blood. It's a New York thing, that's it.
Oh, baby, you've got to show me. You've got to show me. You've got to show me love. Heartbreaks and promises, I've had more than my share. I'm tired of giving my love and it getting nowhere, nowhere. What I really need is somebody who will always be there. I really need a lover that wants to be there. It's been so long since I've touched a wanting hand. Can't put my love on the line. That I hope you understand. So baby, if you want me, you've got to show me love. Words are so easy to say, oh why? You've got to show me love. You've got to show me. You've got to show me. You've got to show me love, baby. You've got to show me. You've got to show me. You've got to show me love. I'm tired of getting caught up in these one-night affairs. What I really need is somebody who will always be there. Don't you promise me the world, all that I've already heard. This time around for me, baby, actions speak louder